before we begin. Your rising sign horoscope will give you further clarity as to how a great deal of your sun sign horoscope will show up for you, and your moon sign horoscope will present the less prominent side story that will also be occurring, usually closer to home. You can find any video you are looking for by checking out the playlist menu on my main channel page. Horoscopes serve best when viewed like a weather or traffic report. You have influence over the outcome of any occurrence with your thoughts, emotions, choices, and deeds. Use the information that presents to help you make the highest choices for the highest outcomes. And if you would like to schedule any of my services or leave a tip or donation, you can do so at my website, integrativemysticism.com, or follow the links in the down bar below. Alright, Aries, it's time to have a look and see what this week's most prominent themes and energies will be influencing and impacting in regards to all areas of your life in one fashion or another. So this week from the Syrian Starseed Tarot, you have the Lovers, the Three of Cups or the Three of Chalices, the Ten of Swords or the Ten of Orbs, and the Fool or the Starseed. And this week you will be finding that there is a lot of communion of willing hearts going on, a lot of unhealthy boundaries and maybe even emotional programs, unnecessary complications and things like that are starting to drop away. I'm seeing a lot of shields coming down, a lot of self-imposed shields, self-imposed veils, again, among willing hearts. It's almost like seeing lovers, friends, family members who long to be close, but maybe due to a lack of emotional availability or maybe even experience or understanding of what it means to be so in a healthy way due to whatever's gone on in their development, are starting to actually come together and overtake and clear a lot of what those locking shields were actually creating in a lot of your closest one-on-one relationships, as well as for those of you maybe looking for new connections, whether they be platonic or personal, it does not matter in this way, romantic, I mean. This is going to be something that is allowing you to start actually really connecting to folks who, again, everyone who might be overly protective of themselves, even yourself, remember, take responsibility for that if that's what's going on as well, are getting rid of the mental gymnastics that are maybe projected or expected to be performed in order to actually have that kind of communion, that kind of strong, open-hearted share, that true heart blend, really, really showing up in a lot of your relationships this week. We also have a lot of fun returns coming your way in terms of not only your social life, but a lot of activities, a lot of opportunities becoming more enjoyable, or maybe even newer specimens showing up that are going to be improvements on the old, as complications and dramas that are for all intents and purposes done are cleared. Cause, core, and effect. Now, when I say for all intents and purposes cleared, I do mean that. I do mean the clearing and release of a lot of stories that seem to maybe get rebirthed, re-energized, or recharged, right? Because, you know, depending on how certain folks are in their own development, in their own growth, you know, there's going to be absolutely a point where people all have to grow and realize, like, they can't keep trying to preserve their wounds, you know, keep them fresh, keep them bleeding, or re-energize those triggers. And so there's a lot of things coming up to kind of clear, again, remove the cause, core, and effect of recurring dramas in a lot of relationships and a lot of friendships and a lot of your pursuits, a lot of, you know, healthy alternatives not only coming in, but also a restoration of health to what can actually be there. Now, we do, however, see a burden also being lifted from you during this time, but it is because the very burden that you're carrying is cleared or destroyed. And this is going to be a very strange week in that respect, because it's happening for you. It's happening as a breakthrough for you and yours, but having a burden removed from us, having something released that maybe we've gotten attached to, we grow accustomed to it, is still going to feel like a loss. It's going to feel like something to grieve for whatever reason. And this is a week where a lot of you Aries people are going to have to pay attention to where if a burden, something that's high maintenance, whether it's an expense or a liability, certain social connections. We've got a lot of great going on here, but sometimes the clearing of the cause, core, and effect of a lot of drama can also indicate removal of certain folks, certain relationships that are just not there when it comes to managing those things. Burdens are getting lifted here. And, again, the burden is destroyed, whatever it is. So be prepared to allow it to happen, even though it may be that, yes, again, it's a harsh end to a harsh situation. We also have a new undertaking, or maybe a new journey. This could honestly show up as a means of, acquiring a completely new lifestyle, material and immaterial, showing up. But again, it requires you to actually turn aside from an attachment or a fixation that you've been carrying in order to have it. And so I kind of feel like whatever this is getting removed is getting replaced almost, within the same week, or maybe over the weekend into next week as well. And, this is something that is an improvement. I am seeing you profiting much from this. But if you are finding that maybe a bit of your ego or a bit of your older self, or an older aspect of yourself is still clinging to something familiar to keep from falling up, gotta let that go this week. It's gonna defy your sense of protocol and procedure, but sometimes we need that check every once in a while. So that's what I've got for you, Aries. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And should you ever want to get a session with me, go on ahead to my website. It's integrativemysticism.com.